what was it like? Well, you said it was your first playoff experience, and there's Jordan, who you obviously had knew and had a history with, and you have some great stories about that. You told a story on my podcast of him rolling a bowling ball backwards to try and clear a lane, right? So, and he palmed it. So, you've been around it. What was that like to be out there on the floor against the Last Dance Bulls like that?
Well, I had played against those guys, for 6 or 7 years. And it wasn't and had some success here and there. It wasn't until I played them in that playoff series that I got to see what I wasn't on very good teams. They didn't have to be engaged to beat my teams. We weren't playing them in the playoffs. But when I saw those guys in the playoffs and saw how engaged they were, it gave me a way better appreciation for, the teams that were really doing battle with those guys, the Knicks and, those teams from back in Detroit, because Michael and Scotty and that squad were so damn good. And when they were engaged, they were damn near unbeatable.
And then the next year you're on Phoenix and you're, teammates with Jason Kidd and KJ, and you're going against, let me make sure I get this right. You're going against the Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins, Gary Payton, Seattle Sonics, and you dropped 42 in the first game of that series to get the first one in that series. Rex, what was the rim as large as the ocean that night for you in Seattle?
Well, yeah, but it also helps when a team can let you run free because you've got Jason Kidd and Kevin Johnson on your team. They couldn't pay too much attention to me if those guys would have crushed them. So I was a beneficiary of playing with Hall of Fame type players. And, Steve Nash was on that team also.
Oh, man.
On our team.
He had a DNP that night. I'm looking in the stat sheet.
He didn't play much that year.
What do you think his challenge is right now, Rex? What's his challenge right now with a team that's up 2-0? Everybody's pretty much putting them in Sharpie against the Bucks right now for a second round matchup that is going to be just lit. What is Nash's challenge right now? Your former teammates, Rex.
Yeah, knowing Stevie like I do, he's the ultimate competitor, and he's got a very unique team of personalities. And I think that his biggest challenge is what to let go. I think he probably wants to call a timeout every play down the court. But there are things he just has to let go with this team. And I think that Mike D'Antoni being there with him in his first year of coaching is a real positive. Of course, Mike has history with coaching James in Houston. But that team is good. They're really good, and if they find a way to keep defending at an elite level, they're going to be awfully tough.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.